Well, I got out of the Army in 1990. I was in from 85 to 90. And I out processed from Fort Ord, California, which is now closed. But I came down to audition in late '89 for a movie that Van Damme did. My cousin sold him a BMW, sold Van Damme a BMW, and told Van Damme, "Hey, I got this cousin that's had 100+ fights, and he's a fighter. He's in the Army. He was, you should see him. He's really good." And Van Damme said, "Well, heck, have him come down to an audition." So he got a hold of me at my unit through my grandparents, like a really roundabout way. I took a 3-day pass, came down, did an audition, and booked the part, but my commander wouldn't let me do it.
Oh
So
no.
I had to finish my time in the Army, which was cool. And when I got out, I moved down to LA. It was 90, and I was kind of fumbling around with like non-union, low-budget movies, and I caught a break doubling Russell Wong in a TV series called Vanishing Sun back in like 91 or 92.
I remember
And
that
I was
show.
and I doubled Lorenzo Lamas a little bit too on Renegade. And
Hmm.
like Mortal Kombat 1, they did Mortal Kombat 2 with Scorpion, and then Sub-Zero on the TV series, and Double Johnny Cage. I kind of went through this gambit of like martial arts things, but it was on Walker. I got a call to double. It was the last 2 seasons of Walker, and I got a call to double this guy that was going to be a season regular. And it was probably 98 or 99 when that call came, and I'd been doing it for about 9 years, 8 9 years, and starting to find myself as a stuntman.
Hmm.
And Aaron and the Norrises were the ones who gave me my initial break from just being a stuntman to being a fight choreographer and helping me get my DGA card, my Directors Guild of America card, and giving me the opportunity to become a second unit director. And I probably learned more on that show, because every show had 3 or 4 fights, and there was a car chase, an explosion, and a shootout. So it was like a stuntman's dream to be
Hmm.
on that. And there was so much going on. And Aaron would direct and produce a lot, but his nephew was the stunt coordinator, Eric, who I worked with directly quite a bit. And Eric was also a big part of helping me learn not just the fight aspect of the stunt man, like being a fight guy, but being more of a stunt man. And he gave me a lot of opportunities to do bigger stunts than just getting jerked into a wall or falling down some stairs. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
this is very instrumental in that. I started martial arts in 1975. I was about 7 years old, and I started in Louisville, Kentucky, and then I moved to Houston, Texas, and continued on. I was competing from the time I started martial arts. I was very competitive, and that's what a lot of my training revolved around, was competitions, whether it be Olympic rule taekwondo or point fighting. And back then we didn't know, like they know now. Like UFC kind of came in and sealed the deal, which I think it's great. I think martial arts has evolved more in the last 20 years than it has in the last 500 years, and we've got to see it. But back then, we didn't know what was the best. We thought what we did was the best. Everyone thought, if I'm doing it, it's got to be the best.
Right.
So I got off and started in Taekwondo. And when I was 18, I joined the Army on the elite athlete program, which, if you were a junior national champion or if you had medaled at nationals, it qualified you for like elite athlete status. And I got stationed I went to Fort Benning, Fort Bragg. Then I also went to Korea and did a year and a half over there. And I trained the whole time I was there with the Korean national team, and got to really up my game at the time. And yeah, when I got out of the Army, I was still competing for the Army all the way till 90, and when I got out. But that was where I really learned, really excelled, was when that year and a half I spent in Korea, and I got to go and travel to Thailand. I got to travel a lot and compete all over Asia, actually, and you know it was a great experience. I was very lucky and very fortunate to have come across as many great coaches and teachers as I did.
And
And then go ahead.
I think I read somewhere you're able to learn Korean and speak Korean now.
That's, that's correct. 한국말 잘합니다. 한국말 잘합니다. I speak Korean. I speak a little Spanish. I speak a little Thai. Speak a little Hebrew. Speak a little this. Speak a little that. You got to do it, bro. You got to do
Yeah.
it.
Very cool.
Communications, everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got out of the Army and got into this business. It became less about how effective, how things worked as far as martial arts go, and it became more about how they looked.
Mm.
Because in the movies, it doesn't really matter how it really works. It only matters how it really looks.
Right.
And the camera can help you with a lot of that. And learning that camera and learning the camera angles and the editing and all that is part of the art of movie making. It's the magic of it's part of that magic, creating that illusion. And I'm a student of that game. Still am a student of it, and still trying to pick up as much as I can. Well, I'm experimenting right now. We've been doing a lot of work, and not just me, but a lot of the guys I train with, because choreography comes from not just one person, but it comes from the group of people. I feel like, I'm going to speak specifically about fight choreography right now, not about stunt work. All right. We've been working on something called gun jitsu, which is like jujitsu but with guns. Because I have a feeling that we have so many servicemen coming home now. And a lot of the stories of what they did in Afghanistan and Iraq will become declassified, and maybe they will make movies from those stories. Like Catherine Bigelow is doing it right now. Also, jiu-jitsu is so prominent because MMA is so prominent. Now, 20 years ago, if somebody slapped a triangle on somebody or an armbar, everybody would be like, well, what's he doing? But now everybody watches MMA, so they're familiar with it. So I think when you mix that, when you integrate that into choreography, like I was just in Baton Rouge on a show called Breakout Kings. And I just did a fight. I just choreographed a fight. I went down there to choreograph a fight. And I had the hero, the actress, slap a triangle on the bad guy because it's effective. Right. And it looks cool. And everybody knows what it is now. It's like they've been watching MMA now for the past 20 years, so everybody's up to speed on it. Now, mixing the guns with jiu-jitsu or MMA, for me, is really interesting because it's that CQC, close quarter combat, and not many people are doing it. And I did a movie recently with Jason Statham, called Safe. And it should come out in April of this year. And it's interesting because it's a different flavor than Haywire. Like Haywire is, if you compare Haywire and Underworld, Underworld is fantasy. It's about vampires. And Haywire is more realistic. It's about, it's more, we didn't go reality plus 20%. We went reality plus 5% or 10%. And Safe is like that too. Like we're trying to keep it as real as possible.